Alright, hello YouTube. Tonight, Trug is going to talk about mania and just what mania is like, and hypomania as well. Well, people with bipolar disorder and schizoaffective disorder, bipolar type, suffer from, usually in regular bipolar, you'll have both manic and depressive episodes. Some people have more manic than depressive. Schizoaffective, you usually either have one of two types. You have either schizoaffective disorder with the depressive symptoms, or what they call the bipolar type, where you have the mania and the manic symptoms. I, for a lot of years, went the depressive way, but then recently, over like the last year, I've instead started to get more and more manic symptoms. And I'll explain what those are here in a minute. Mania. Basically, it's kind of great at first. It's a wonderful thing. I mean, it's like a cocaine or methamphetamine high, but you just keep getting higher and higher and higher, and you don't come down. And you don't need to sleep. You have like this feeling of enhanced self. You think you're capable of anything. You can do anything. Nothing can stop you. You usually have no care of consequence. You can act very promiscuously. You can spend a lot of money you don't have. You can just get pretty reckless, as it progresses. When it first starts, like for myself, I'll do this video from my point of view. I've never been full blown dancing in the streets manic. I get hypomanic, where I get basically what happens is I get where I don't really need much sleep. I'll stay up 2 and 3 days at a time. I get very productive. I can get stuff done like you wouldn't believe. Stuff that normally takes me weeks, I get done in days. Stuff that takes me days, I get done in hours. And like I said, it's a great feeling, but it also has the drawbacks. I tend to, personally, I tend to buy a lot of things that I don't need. I go on these crazy shopping sprees on Amazon and spend all kinds of money on stuff that I'm never going to use or that I never need or anything like that. And, it can be a big mess. Fortunately, I have the money that I can afford to do that, and it doesn't really hurt me. But, I'm sure eventually, could catch up with me, where you could get to the point where I do something really stupid and lose a lot of money or spend a lot of money. Another thing I tend to do is I gamble. When I get hypomanic, I start to gamble. I want to gamble on everything: video games, sports, you name it, whatever it is. I want to put money on it. And like I said, usually when that does happen, I have to go see my psychiatrist, and he'll usually, what he does is he ups my dosage of Seroquel, which in turn sedates me more, which usually knocks the hypomanic out of me. But usually, see, it's weird because it only does it for a couple weeks, and it's like I adjust and I get back to it again. And fortunately, like I said with myself, I don't get to the point where I get too out of control. At least I haven't yet. My biggest thing is I'll go out and buy stuff I don't need, or gamble a little, not exorbitant amounts of money for me at least, but, hasn't been all that destructive. It's kind of been in check, and then the biggest thing is just the lack of sleep because, especially with having a thought disorder, when your brain needs sleep every 24 hours, it needs 6 to 8 hours of sleep out of that 24-hour period to function properly, and so does the rest of your body to rest and recuperate and heal up, and cells to reform and everything else for your body, for things to work normally. It needs that sleep, and when you don't get that sleep, things start to get out of whack, and you don't notice because you're suffering from the hypomania. So you think everything is just hunky-dory, and then after a couple of days you start hallucinating, and stuff like that. The thought disorder symptoms, which is just, it's a combination of just plain sleep deprivation will do that to you. And then when you have a thought disorder on top of it, it just exacerbates the situation, and you can get off the rails pretty quick if you're not careful, so you have to really keep an eye on it. And, usually for me, that's the tip off. Usually, it's not like I'm not like Jekyll and Hyde. I don't, it's not a snap of a finger. All of a sudden I'm Mr. Hypomania. It comes over like a period of like a week, it sets in, and it starts usually first with the sleep disruptions. And, then I start to get a little bit grandiose sense of self. My ego gets to be a little bit bigger. I start to become a little more brash, a little more cocky when I talk to people and things like that, and then it usually gets to a point where, like I said, it's still controllable, and I usually kind of stay at that point, luckily, and like I said, I usually call my psychiatrist, and he'll increase my Seroquel, or, worst case scenario, now I'm on the maximum dose of Seroquel, so I guess our next move will probably be to increase a benzo, probably increase the Xanax that I take during the day, and which I really don't want to do, but and right now I don't think it's necessary because, like I said, I kind of have it in control. I'm very lucky because I am, while I have multiple illnesses, and I have pretty. I wouldn't say I'm pretty symptomatic. I have a lot of symptoms. But with my my medications and just my myself, my being, I'm able to control a lot of it. You know what I mean? I can feel it when it's coming on, and I know when the shit's about to hit the fan, and I can take the proper steps that I need to take to make sure that it doesn't get out of control. Like my parents are finally, after all these years of denial, are starting to get a little bit wiser to it, and they start to notice when I don't sleep for a day, they'll start to check in on me more often and kind of harass me and nag me to go sleep for a couple hours. You got to go to sleep, get off the computer, go to sleep, and a lot of times, it doesn't work because I just can't sleep because my mind is going 1,000 miles an hour, and I just can't shut down or relax to that point of being able to fall asleep. I'm not sure about other people, but my anxiety levels actually do not go up when I get hypomanic. If anything, they go down because I get a lot more self-assured. And my self-esteem gets a lot higher. I'm not afraid of anything, or nothing bothers me. Whereas when I'm normal, as I am now, I tend to dwell on the smallest little things and turn anthills into mountains, create problems that aren't there and scenarios that could never happen. And, that's when my anxiety starts to ramp up. But when I'm hypomanic, the more hypomanic I get, the less anxiety I have. Which is, that's kind of a good thing. But again, it's like stealing from Peter to pay Paul, But, definitely, like I said, I'm lucky. I've never had a full all-out manic episode. Came close once when they put me on Celexa, my general practitioner. This was before I had seen a psychiatrist. This was actually what brought about me seeing a psychiatrist was, I had mentioned him. I went through like a 2 or 3 year period where I was very depressed. I didn't do anything. I dropped out of the computer scene, out of the hacker scene, everything, the gaming scene. People thought I died and just disappeared, because I was just in such a shitty place that, I didn't want to do anything, I just wanted to lie in bed and sleep all the time, and it was all I could do to get up. I'd get up and take a shower and go right back to bed and just stay there all day. I wouldn't get, nothing would give me pleasure. Like now I enjoy playing video games. I enjoy surfing the internet. I enjoy making videos. I enjoy all sorts of stuff. I look forward to doing it. But then when you're in that depressed state, it's just, oh boy, but that'll be another video. So the one time they put me on Celexa because I was having depression issues, and after being on this Celexa for 5 days, I was bouncing off the walls. I mean, you could probably say it was a manic episode, a full-blown manic episode. Excuse me. I wasn't like some people who like run down the streets naked, and stuff like that. But I was, pacing around, and I was psychotic, and that was when we had to take me to the hospital for the first time, and they figured out now I'm on mirtazapine. If you've seen my other videos, I take mirtazapine 30 milligrams once a day, which is also it's an antidepressant, but it works different than I believe they're called tricyclic antidepressants, which are like Celexa, Lexapro, Prozac, stuff like that. It works. It has a different mechanism that doesn't make you manic, and it works good for me. I haven't had any depressive episodes since I started taking it. Well, I think that's about sums it up for my views on Mania from my perspective. If you have any questions, want to know anything further, feel free to ask in the comments section. Again, try and keep it somewhat respectable. Nobody likes a jerk. Keep it constructive. Again, my next video will probably cover depression, which I will probably make right now or in an hour or so after I play a little bit of World of Tanks. But anyway, thanks for watching. Again, if you do feel you suffer from mental illness or you have any of these problems, seek help. You don't have to suffer in silence. There's plenty of people and institutions out there that can help you out, and it doesn't have to be that bad. You can be treated and medicated, and you can be like me and lead a somewhat semi-normal life. My life isn't that bad. I can't really complain. But anyway, until we meet again, this is Trug out.